Seriously, I've been covered in this stuff for days. All of the veg and the Kemp and the second cuts, and it's just freaking disgusting. If you weren't certain you were watching a spinning video right now, you'd be completely freaked out by what that is. Hey guys, Sarah here from Yarn Lab Canada. It's Friday, July 17th, and it's day 14th of the Tour de Fleece. Alright, so I just got home from volunteering at Market Collective. As you can see, I'm still wearing my super cool Market Collective volunteer t-shirt. And what Market Collective is, it's a local monthly market of vendors and artists and like food people, just anything that you would want to buy local, except for like actual farmers market produce, like all of the food stalls, it's prepared food. But I will stop rambling about it and I'll show you a video of wandering around the market. So as you can see, it's a totally great time, happens every month here in Calgary, and supports a ton of great local artists. And if you're super keen like me on maybe one day having a booth or a table at Market Collective, then you start out the way I'm trying it, by volunteering every month to get to see what's going on. So as you know, and as that intro probably tipped it off for you, I'm still spinning all of that black Welsh mountain fiber, and it's covering me in just the nastiest little bits of Kemp and veg and little black hairs and all that fun. But it's worth it because I now have a full enough bobbin to wind this off into a center pole and start two-plying it. As you can see, it's a beautiful naturally black fiber. So I didn't dye this black. This is the way that it grows right on the sheep, and it's tweeted with some great little colors. So I'm going to pull that off into a center pole and show you a quick video of two-plying. Alright, so when I'm ready to pull yarn, my single, off of my bobbin, all I do is I use my little center pole ball winder. This is just one of the cheap plastic ones. I'm not even sure what the brand is. I picked it up at my local, some people might think that, at my local yarn shop, relatively inexpensively. It has a clamp to clamp it onto the table, but rather than move my wheel to the table, I just wind off right in my hand. So in order to wind off, all I do is I take my drive band off, I take my brake band off, and I leave my yarn feeding through the orifice so that it doesn't tangle up. I pull a little bit out to get started and wrap it onto the ball winder, and then ready to go ahead and wind right off of my wheel. So no one wants to watch that for 10 minutes, or, well, not 10 minutes. No one wants to watch that for 5 minutes, so I'm going to pause and show you once I've got the ball off. Alright, so I just finished winding this off. As you can see, I've got a lovely cake of this yarn that is mostly black, but it's kind of tweeted with the bits of color. So as a cake, this looks completely beautiful. This is the 1-ply, and I do want to take this to a 2-ply place. So I'm going to show you how I 2-ply off a center pole ball. So what you need is you've got one end on the outside. You gotta find your inside end and get it ready to go. And then you're gonna be ready to ply these two together. So I can throw my drive band and my brake band back onto my wheel, grab my orifice hook, and pull this through my leader. Come on. And then I'm going to take those two ends that I found and just loop them through the leader and pull them back onto each other. And you want to spin in the opposite direction that you spun your yarn when you're plying. And let's get this untangled a bit. So what I try and do to avoid tangles is I pull my inside yarn out to one side and I unwrap my outside yarn off the other direction so that you try not to get a tangle on the ball itself. And then I control the twist angle in my hand by pressing my thumb down in between the two yarns, and one edge of my thumb is guiding and feeling for sort of hyper twists and back twists on one side, and the other edge of my thumb is feeling on the other. So it's, you know, you're going to use your very sensitive and dexterous fingertips and thumb tips to know if you've got any lumps and bumps. And if you do pull something through like this, so you can see that I pulled through you know, a bit of a hyper twisted area, you just pull it apart and let it retwist up. And then I'm going to go ahead and keep plying this. The reason that I'm choosing to ply it is not only to increase the bulk of my yarn, to make it a bulkier weight yarn, but especially because this yarn had such a short staple length, the plied yarn is going to just really increase the integrity of the yarn versus just a single. And so I just keep track of the ball in my lap, and I keep going along. So that's it for spinning for today. I did spend most of the day in the lab and then most of my evening volunteering. So I'm going to, as the light leaves us, spin this up into a 2-ply, and tomorrow I'll show you the finished yarn, and I'll probably take a break from this black Welsh Mountain and spin something different for a day and vacuum my apartment, because if what I showed you on my skirt is an indication of how much this yarn sheds, you can imagine that my wool white apartment carpets are just full of black fuzz right now. Once again, I'm Sarah with Yarn Lab Canada, and if you like this video, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. If there's anything else you're interested to see on this Everything Fiber related YouTube channel, then let me know in the comments below, and I'm happy to answer your questions in future videos. In the meantime, happy spinning!